What do we got in there today?
Oh, hi, Peter Cunnington here. I recently saw that Brendan Fraser was on the Howard Stern show talking about the canceled Batgirl, and he said it didn't really get a fair shake by people who'd seen it because it wasn't fully finished, and he feels that it should have been finished and people should have seen it and made their own decision up, and he really wishes people could have seen it and had a great time making it, and he feels that it could have done great. So, yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but thank you, and bring on the filthy.
Thanks a lot for calling that in. I mean, look, I thought we were done talking about the Batgirl thing, but...
Never.
Never. But Brendan Fraser, who we all adore around here, and has a legitimate shot at becoming Academy Award winner, Brendan Fraser, coming up in the next few weeks at the Academy Awards, he was on Howard Stern. And, of course, the question came up about Batgirl. And he addressed it. And again, I wasn't ever planning on us addressing the Batgirl situation again, but we got flooded with questions today, including it on our hotline. So for those of you who want to know specifically what Brendan Fraser said, this comes to us from the folks over at Movie Web. They were quoting the stuff that was in there. And you can bring up my screen here, Jonathan. He said this. He goes, oh, I'm on the wrong spot. Let me go to the first part of the quote. He said this. I have not. I have friends and coworkers and associates who have seen it, and they all say really good things about it. Of course, to which I say, really, Brendan? You had friends who saw your movie and came to you and said they liked it? Okay. At any rate. But the thing about it, it was screened in a garden variety test screening. It was a director's cut, first cut. It wasn't finished. I don't know about you, but I don't eat half-baked cake. I don't want to see something that's not ready yet. The sad thing is that I don't know if it was judged on merit. It wasn't shown in the best light that it could have been. I mean, yes, once you give a film to the people and the world. Now he goes on to say, yeah, it's open season to criticize or praise it or whatever you want, but this didn't even really get a fair shake. That's disappointing for obvious reasons, but moreover, because little girls are going to have to wait longer now before they can see a Batgirl who they can identify and say that, hey, she looks just like me too. In Leslie Grace, and she was wonderful. Oh gosh, she was good. Really terrific. She's a firecracker, like dynamite comes in small packages for a reason. She's a dynamo. And we all love Leslie Grace around here. We think she's terrific. So that comes to us from Brendan Fraser. All right. Couple things. We can take down the screen now, Jonathan. Couple things that we should point out here. At no point does Brendan Fraser say the movie's good. And you could not get a more biased person. Actor who starred in movie wishes their movie had been released. Listen, all due respect to Brendan Fraser, but Brendan Fraser is saying exactly what he's supposed to say. Listen, you think Ryan Reynolds was talking crap about his Green Lantern movie within the first few months of the Green Lantern movie coming out and being in public? No, it was years later. Do you think George Clooney, who talks crap about his Batman movie all the time, but it wasn't for several years after that? Let's hear what Brendan Fraser has to say about the Batgirl movie in 2027, because it will be different than what he's saying now. And what is he supposed to say now? You come out, remember, he's got directors he wants to work with again in the future. He's got other actors he wants to work with again in the future. You're not going to come out and say, yeah, those guys made a crap movie. He ain't going to say it, even if, and this is all theoretical, even if Brendan Fraser in his head thinks this was the worst movie ever made, what's he supposed to say right now? He doesn't come out and say, I believe this film was terrific. There's a reason he doesn't say that. But you know, you say, hey, I think it's unfortunate. It would have been great if it could have come out. I mean, you know, maybe it didn't get a fair shake. By the way, all movies go through this process, right? And it's easy to say, oh, you with your money should have put up tens of millions of more dollars to finish this thing and then put it out. And even though it's your future franchise that's at stake and that's at risk, you should have taken that risk in that thing. It's easy to say, look, I have nothing against what Brendan Fraser said. I think he's saying exactly the right thing right now for the environment and the circumstances he's in at this moment. I think he's saying everything that he should say. But I don't think, much like Clooney, much like Ryan Reynolds and other actors who years later will give a more candid and frank perspective on a movie or a project they were involved in. Right now is not the time for Brendan Fraser to do that. And even if he was being totally sincere, I'm not really going to listen to the opinion of the biased opinion of the actor who stars in that movie saying, hey, I wish my movie had come out. I don't know. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. If saving more and spending less is one of your top goals for 2023, why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for your phone bill? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I made the switch over to Mint Mobile a while ago. The process couldn't have been easier, and I can't believe that I am spending less than a third of what I was spending on one of the other major carriers before. By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily in minutes with eSIM. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Rob, you heard Brendan Fraser's comments. What do you think?
Well, I agree with everything you said. The one thing, though, that I would say that I do agree with Mr. Fraser on is when he's talking about a lot of the time showing a movie to an audience that's not finished is a very difficult thing. I think it's essential because you learn, you can't learn more about your movie than when you show it to an audience, because you can feel, like literally you can feel what works and what doesn't, because the filmmakers are looking for those things. But a movie like this, I would be very curious. I mean, obviously they decided they still had millions, if not tens of millions of dollars to spend on visual effects or finishing this film. They decided, you know what? We're 60 million in. We have another 30 million to go. Why? We've looked at the numbers. It's better that we don't finish it. It's terrible, a terrible choice, a terrible decision for everybody, but I can understand it. But I just think that it would be interesting to see, like James Gunn and Peter Safran, keep all the names straight. They both said it was unreleasable.
Well, the fact that you bring that up, let's to remind everyone, Peter Safran, who was not involved with the making of the film of Batgirl, he's now the head of DC. He got to see it. They showed it to him. And just remind everybody what was said. Let's go to my screen again, Jonathan. Peter Safran had said this about Batgirl. He said, there were a lot of incredibly talented people in front and behind the camera on that film, but that film was not releasable. And it happens sometimes. And I actually think that David Zaslav and the team made a very bold and courageous decision to cancel it, because it would have hurt DC and it would have hurt the people involved in making it. Batgirl would not have been able to compete in the theatrical marketplace. It was built for a small screen. And so again, I think that was not an easy decision, but they made the right decision. And I want to put this out to anybody who thinks anything otherwise. I am somebody, we can take that down now, John. I am somebody who am very bullish. I'm very pro Sony and what Sony's doing with their Spider-Verse. They've made a couple of crappy Spider-Man movies, but they've also made the best Spider-Man movies. And I love Venom and Into the Spider-Verse and all that kind of stuff, right? And I love them building this, their own Spider-Verse kind of thing. And then Morbius came out. You want to talk about my enthusiasm level for Craven? Pre-Morbius?
Yeah.
I think I speak for a lot of us. Pre-Morbius, I mean, I'm not going to say it was way up here, but pre-Morbius, my excitement for Craven was right about here. Post-Morbius, I mean, I'm still excited about the Sony Spider-Verse. I am, because they've made a lot of great films with it. But after Morbius, my overall enthusiasm and belief in them has not gone away, but it's come down. Look at me in the face and tell me Sony made the right decision in putting that movie out. What dollar figure do you think they actually cost themselves because of reputation, because of their standing. How much did they hurt themselves by not pulling a bold move like what Discovery and Warner Brothers did by saying, you know what? We should not put this out. It will be better for us if we don't put this out. Sony should have done the same thing, and they didn't, and it has hurt them. Anyway, I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. And I think that this bold move is because, especially look at Safran and James Gunn. They were given a choice. They said, look, we've got this movie. David Zaslav, they said, we're not going to do it, but I'm sure, I will bet you $1 million that David Zaslav said, look, I'm going to let you guys look at it.
Oh, yeah, he's given them complete autonomy over TV.
You look at it, and if you think there's something, if we could put it on HBO Max, if we could put it out theatrically, whatever, I will defer to you. And they looked at it, and they were the final arbiters that said there's no way. Because what they're doing is crafting, like, they're not going to, this is why I'm excited for what James Gunn, people are like, I'm not that excited. Well, all these, you know what I did last night, dude? I read The Authority. I hadn't read The Authority in a long time. I went back and took my absolute, and I'm like, I get it now. I understand. And I'm like, okay, their mandate is to not come out and make movies that are just okay. They've been given a mandate to make the very best DC movies ever made. That's what is David Zaslav is expecting. And if they were to put out Batgirl, it would have deeply compromised. We're not going to put out half-ass movies. And it would have come out, whether people believed it was their watch or not, it would have come out in 2024 or whenever, who knows, and it would have damaged what you just said, everything that they're trying to build. Because look, I'll tell you this, these guys are expected. They're like, imagine getting all the draft picks you wanted in the NFL, and you're expecting, your fans are expecting a Super Bowl winning team. That's what David Zaslav has done. That's why their contracts are 3 years long or whatever. Like, they get this one shot, man, and that's why I'm excited. Batgirl ain't going to help them at all. There was nothing good that would have come out of it. Nothing. It wouldn't have been good theatrically, and if it went on HBO Max, it wouldn't have been good for HBO Max either. I mean, you know, when they put out something now, whether it's Last of Us or House of the Dragon, man, they're batting 1,000.
Yeah, and again, I just would want to put the question to everybody again. Is your even if it was already low to start with, is your enthusiasm for Sony's Spider-Verse higher or lower since watching Morbius? And if the answer is lower, there's your answer. Anyway, guys, question is for you.
Absolutely right.
What do you think about Brendan Fraser's comments? I think he said everything exactly right. I think he said exactly what he needed to say, but I am more curious to hear what he has to say in 2027. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts.